The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and betrayal, the sterile air thick with the weight of my newborn daughter's cries and Daniel's pathetic excuses. Lily squirmed in my arms, her tiny fists clenched as if she could sense the storm raging inside me. Daniel stood there, his shirt wrinkled, his eyes darting like a cornered animal. "I messed up, Emily," he said, his voice cracking. "But I love you. I love her." Lies. Every syllable dripped with the stench of Vanessa's perfume, a cheap floral scent I'd come to associate with my humiliation. I'd recorded it all. His confession, his groveling, on the phone hidden beneath the blanket, a weapon I'd wield later. "Get out," I hissed, and when he hesitated I screamed it, my voice shattering the silence. He fled, and I was left alone with Lily, my resolve hardening like steel. The weeks after Lily's birth were a crucible. I nursed her through colic and exhaustion, my body aching from labor, my mind racing with plans. Daniel thought he could salvage things, showing up with wilted roses and rehearsed apologies. But I'd fortified my defenses. New locks, security cameras, a wall of silence. I'd already begun my revenge, chipping away at Vanessa's fragile ego with fake messages and reviews, watching her unravel from afar. Daniel's career was next, his golden reputation tarnished by the anonymous leaks I'd sent his firm. But it wasn't enough. I wanted them to bleed, to feel the depth of the wound they'd carved into my life. Vanessa's breakdown came faster than I'd expected. She appeared at my door one rainy night, her blonde hair plastered to her face, her mascara running in black rivers. "Please stop," she begged, her voice a pitiful whine. "I'm done with him, I swear." I stood in the doorway, Lily on my hip, her warmth a stark contrast to the ice in my veins. "You made your choice," I said, my words sharp as broken glass. "Now live with it." She sobbed, collapsing onto the porch, but I shut the door, her pleas muffled by the wood. She vanished soon after, her apartment emptied, her online presence erased. I'd broken her, but Daniel was still standing, barely. His family turned on him next. I'd sent his mother, Margaret, the damning evidence, texts, photos, bank statements, knowing her sanctimonious wrath would do the rest. She called him, her voice shrill through the synced line I still monitored. "You're no son of mine," she shrieked, and I pictured him shrinking under her judgment. His sister, Claire, cut him off too, her silence a dagger to his pride. I escalated further, hiring Rick, the PI, to tail him. The photos of his fight with Vanessa, her slapping him grabbing her, sealed his fate at the firm. Fired, disgraced, he was a shell of the man I'd married. The divorce was swift, my lawyer shredding him in court with every piece of evidence I'd amassed. Full custody of Lily, alimony he couldn't pay. Victory tasted bitter but satisfying. Daniel didn't go quietly. He fought the divorce with a desperation that bordered on madness, hiring a sleazy lawyer who tried to paint me as unstable. "She's paranoid," the man argued, waving a hand at the judge. "Obsessed with revenge." I sat in the courtroom, Lily in a carrier beside me, my face a mask of calm. Claire, my attorney, dismantled their case with surgical precision, playing the recordings of Daniel's drunken rants, showing the judge the financial records. "This isn't paranoia," she said, her voice ringing clear. "This is a man who betrayed his pregnant wife and stole from his clients." The judge's gavel fell like a guillotine, and Daniel's fate was sealed. He spiraled after that. I heard through mutual friends, ones who'd sided with me, that he'd moved into a rundown apartment on the edge of town, a one-bedroom dump with peeling paint and a flickering neon sign outside. He'd started drinking, the kind of heavy, sloppy drinking that left him staggering home from dive bars. I didn't pity him. I tracked his descent through Rick, who sent me updates. Daniel arguing with bartenders, Daniel passed out in his car, Daniel begging Vanessa to take him back via unanswered texts. She'd blocked him, her number disconnected, her life a blank slate somewhere far away. I'd driven her out, but Daniel's ruin was my true masterpiece. I kept pushing. I mailed him a package, unsigned, untraceable, containing a single photo. The ultrasound of Lily, the one he'd cried over when we thought we were happy. On the back I wrote in red ink, "You'll never know her." He called me that night, His voice slurred and furious. "You're evil, Emily," he spat. "You've taken everything." I hung up, smiling as Lily slept in her crib, her tiny chest rising and falling. Evil? No. I was justice, a mother protecting her child from a monster. His friends abandoned him next. I'd spread the word subtly. Coffee dates with mutual acquaintances, teary confessions about his affair, just enough truth to turn them against him. He cheated while I was pregnant, I'd say, letting my voice tremble. He spent our savings on her. They'd gasp, offer hugs, then distance themselves from him. His phone stopped ringing, his social media grew quiet, his world shrinking to the four walls of that miserable apartment. I imagined him sitting there alone, staring at the bottles piling up, and I felt a thrill of satisfaction. Vanessa's ghost lingered too. I found out she'd moved to a small town 2 states over, working at a diner, her dreams of glamour buried under greasy aprons and minimum wage. I couldn't resist one last jab. I sent her a postcard, no return address, just a photo of a pregnant belly and the words, "You didn't win." Rick confirmed she'd quit the next day, disappearing again, a shadow fleeing my wrath. Good riddance. Lily grew, her giggles filling the house that was now wholly mine. I'd sold Daniel's car, his golf clubs, anything he'd left behind, using the money to repaint the walls, erase his presence. The blog I'd started, anonymized tales of my revenge, exploded online, women messaging me with their own stories of betrayal. "You're an inspiration," they wrote, and I glowed with pride. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving, a phoenix risen from the ashes of his lies. Daniel tried to claw his way back once, showing up at a supervised visit with Lily. He was thinner, his eyes sunken, his suit ill-fitting. "I've changed," he said, reaching for her. The social worker stepped between them, and I watched from behind the glass, my heart cold. Lily didn't know him, would never know him, and his pleas fell on deaf ears. He left in tears and I drove home, singing to her in the car, free. Years passed and I saw him one last time. It was a gray afternoon, the sky heavy with clouds, and I'd stopped at a gas station on the edge of town. There he was, pumping gas into a rusted sedan, his beard patchy, his hands trembling. He looked up, saw me, saw Lily laughing in the backseat, and froze. I didn't speak, just met his gaze, letting him see the life I'd built without him. His shoulders slumped and I drove away, the rearview mirror framing his defeat. Vanessa's fate trickled back to me through rumors. She'd bounced from job to job, town to town, her beauty fading under the weight of her choices. Someone said she'd married a trucker, a rough man who didn't care about her past, but I doubted she'd found peace. I didn't care enough to check. Lily turned 5, her dark hair in pigtails, her eyes bright with curiosity. She asked about her father once, and I told her the truth, edited, soft. "He wasn't ready to be a dad," I said, kissing her forehead. "But we're enough." She nodded, content, and I knew I'd won. Daniel and Vanessa had tried to break me, but I'd turned their betrayal into my strength, my daughter's future, my ultimate revenge.